I think we're live.
Are we?
Yes, we're live. We're live on YouTube, Baz. We're live upstairs. Julian Woodall, absolute pleasure to meet you, buddy.
Are you, Hugh? How the devil are you, sir?
I'm very good. I'm very good. I thought for a fleeting moment earlier on that we had met at the Ride for Conrad event. We didn't, did we?
Yes, we did.
Did we? I was thinking, how drunk did I get? I don't remember
Would you li-
people. Did we? We did, didn't he? Because he spoke next day. Oh my god.
Would
Oh
you
no,
like
don't
me
mention
to
that bit.
explain how we
No,
met?
no, we won't explain that bit.
Is that classified?
I just
again?
remember that's classified. That is classified. Why are you saying just now? You know, with the so are you from Dudley?
Yes,
Were you
I'm from
born?
Dudley,
You raised there or born there or both?
raised there and born there.
And the headphones make you feel like you're posh.
It makes me feel like I'm sounding posh.
Oh,
here.
sounding
For the first
posh.
time ever in my life. And probably few of the actual listeners, now I've just said I come from Dudley. You're going to be Dudley.
That's
Because I don't say yo, bay, or bin, and I call the canal,
Yeah.
not the cut. And not, oh, I'm going to keep it eye. Yeah, they're going to say, oh, so a few of them will pick up probably now that I do have a Dudley accent. I was born in Dudley in 1968, and it was when Dudley came off to the under the lovely county of Worcestershire, and then it changed over to the West Midlands.
I got West Midlands mixed up last on one of the shows before with West Midlands and West Country. I don't know. I'm Welsh, right? And I was based in Essex. I ain't got a clue.
How did you
I
manage
don't know.
that?
Well, it's West, isn't it?
Which West? Yes,
What?
but West Country is like Devon and Cornwall.
I didn't-
Where do you come from? Where you come from? The West
No, that's
Country, right?
Wales.
No, that's
Wales.
West Country.
That's southwest, though. That's like it's Cornwall and stuff. Cornwall and Bristol. Is it not just known as Cornwall and Bristol?
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because Bristol is part of Gloucestershire.
Right? Is that not West Country?
Yeah, it is. But the West Midlands is.
Where does West Midlands end then? South, and where does the West Country start? Or is this a controversial thing that started wars in the past or ended wars?
Well, actually, the controversy is Dudley used to come under the Black Country. Dudley is part of the Black Country. No, you've asked, and the Black Country started and stopped. I remember as a kid at the Staffordshire pub.
The Black Country.
The Black.
Have
Country.
you just made that up?
No, I haven't.
Where's the Black Country?
The Black.
You're just making stuff up now because
I'm
I'm
not
ignorant
making
to
stuff
it.
The Black Country is Dudley. That area, the Black Country, due to the 1800s, the Industrial Revolution,
I'm fact checking this.
and all the factories were kicking out so much soot and that the whole area was covered in black soot, so it's called the Black Country.
Right.
But I remember as a kid, it started and stopped at the Staffordshire Knot pub on the Birmingham New Road, if I remember correctly, going in to Wolverhampton on the 126, obviously bus route, or the buzz route as they call it there. That's where the Black Country started and stopped. Because the West Midlands became a county back, it must have been like early 80s, because Dudley came under Worcestershire.
Hang on a minute. Isn't Warwickshire a county?
Warwickshire is a county.
How is it Warwickshire in the West Midlands then?
No, Warwickshire, Birmingham used to come under Warwickshire because Warwickshire County Cricket Club, dare I say that, being a Worcestershire boy, may the Lord not strike me down with obviously lightning. Warwickshire County Cricket Club is in Edgbaston, Birmingham, because Birmingham used to come under Warwickshire. And then as far as a certain part on the Hagley Road in Birmingham, from there, that went changing to Worcestershire. And half of Dudley came under Worcestershire and Staffordshire. It's all very obviously political, as I say.
Yeah. Why did they change it? Just to make it a bigger organ? No. Why did they change it?
I haven't got a clue, mate. It's all went down now because obviously Worcestershire County Cricket Club had a ground over Dudley. It was a backup, obviously, cricket ground until it sunk. There's subsidence underneath.
It's quite common, the old sinking cricket ground.
It's subsidence underneath it. It sunk into the caves, so that got stopped.
You reminded earlier when you said, you reminded me earlier, as I was chuckling out through you talking, of a guy called, who I served with, and his name was Dudley, and he was, I'm guessing he was from Dudley, because or he's a Brummie, because he was a Dudley.
Whoa.
What?
Don't call us Brummies.
I didn't know. I said from Dudley, or he was Brummie.
We're Yam Yams.
Yam Yams. I've heard that as well. I've heard that. Yeah, I have heard that as well. Yam Yam. That's what that is. Is that like what do they call them up north in Sunderland and Newcastle? You got the Geordies and you got the
and the Mackhams.
The Mackhams. Yeah. And there was another guy who Dudley was a signaller, right? And there's another. You know the memories you forget and then they come back with something. There's another signaller and he was called I won't mention his name. But he had a tick. And he used to be sitting in an O group, right? And I remember it last Afghan tour did. And he's sitting there on one of the most memorable things, sitting in an old group in the ops room, and you got like fucking radios everywhere and like bleeps and that going. And the OC's talking, he's giving the brief. And you always, when we had new attachments or whatever come into the company, one of the first things we ping is that we'd watch them in the O group because they would clock this guy's tick, but not know it was his tick because his tick was he was. All you'd hear is boop, boop. So if you didn't know this guy, you'd be hearing bleeps and often from radios, and the OC be talking around, nothing's going on. There'd be something bleeping, and you see him looking around, beep boop boop, and you're going, where's this coming from? It takes him about 20 minutes to clock that. It's a signaller in the corner. He's got his tick, and he sits there going boop, beep boop, and when you get agitated, or when like the subject of your group sort of raised, you go beep, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, beep. And you get higher in pitch, you get faster. Jesus, the funniest thing. You used to call him R2D2. The funniest thing.
I remember in basic training. I joined up on the 5th of November 1990, and I turned up at Woolwich.
I was 9 years old.
I wasn't.
I was 8 years old.
Was you?
Yeah, go
on. I turned off, and you go to Woolwich, and you picked up the station. You took over to the camp and that. When did you do your basic?
Woolwich.
Woolwich. So in London.
Why down there? Is that where the artillery?
I was in the Gunners. It was then at the time the main obviously training camp. So after basic, I remember after Christmas, after basic, go over to either signals troop or driving a troop, and I went over to signals troop. And this one day, I'm stood outside the signals wing, and I always remember you going on about ticks. And my mate called me out, Harry. He says, "Come and look at this minute, Woody. Smart as anything, this soldier is marching along. He's got the, his jumper on, starched and everything, the greener trousers he marches. Next one goes like that. Like, what the fuck?" And apparently this lad he hit a tree skiing.
Yeah.
And it's obviously affected him because he got into hospital at Woolwich, come out even worse.
Oh, God.
So when I went over to 5th Regiment in Germany, in Dortmund, we won the batteries, K battery. You had this battery sergeant major called Fat Frank. God,
was he quite fit?
He was. He used to be in the bar. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, of course you are.
Because he used to go up to the Bombardier. "Hey, Bombardier, get the beers in your coat." Fat Frankie's name was. Well, this guy Hoppy, he was out there. He got worse as he got older. So when he used to get a drink, he'd have his pint there in the naffy, and he'd be like that. Yeah.
Hitting his knee.
10. Yeah.
Oh, he's hitting things.
Get like that because he was trying to cover it up. Then he grabbed the glass. But the point is, for some reason, it was a perfect shot on the range. Great shot because he was concentrating. When we went on the junior scouts course, three things I remember which are absolutely hilarious. It was over Salisbury, and we were using for the first time the Law 90. So for a laugh, they got me teamed up with this guy Hoppy. And there was this old tank in front first. So as a laugh, I went to pick it off, and the sergeant major Dev said, "Not you. Let Hoppy do it." So he picked it up. The man with his firing, he twitched.
Oh no.
Like that. missile shot out. Instead of going to the centre of the tank, it bounced off the turret, went up into orbit. The sergeant made in the DS like laughing their heads off. And then we went up, and the sergeant, he used to like cover up his tick by doing things. Now I used to have a stutter. So I used to cover up the stutter by saying or sticking in another word. But he used to cover up his tick.
By
So,
movement.
By movement, but saying words random. So the sergeant major Dev come in this one on the Landsat guys. Right. We've got Marne Barracks. We go up to the top to the main camp. How many people need transport? And this man, this off he went, 10. Right then, off he went. So the next day he comes in, he got all the full screws course all lined up. And he's like, right, which one of you fucking jokers went and said we need 10 people when 3 went on the minibus? And he was like that. Yeah. 10. And then on the passing out parade, health and safety went out the window. Because we had bayonets on.
Mm. Oh no.
You can guess what's happening.
Yeah.
So he stood there.
Did he stop?
He stabbed the CO, the colonel. Come along. Colonel went up to him. Just the last minute, I remember I stood on the front there. He was next to me. The kid went, twitched, bayonet. Just missed the colonel's eye by inches. And all of a sudden, all the lads, the tears were just coming down their eyes. And that. But I was some of the characters were just like. You remember them.
Yeah. They're going to flying through my head now. All the stories.
Those characters who were.
I was saying on. I was saying before. I was saying it too. It's like it's nigh on impossible. It's nigh on impossible to get binned out of the army. I don't know what the Navy and RAF are like, but it's nigh on impossible to get. Well, the infantry anyway, to get binned out of it. You know. You can be this least mentally capable, should we say, individual. You can even be really unfit. You literally have to stab someone in the head in front of the CO, or a policeman, or be caught doing drugs in front of someone of rank to get booted out. Other than that, you're staying in. I think it's brilliant. It's like if someone, because if someone in like that, you think, what the flip are you doing in Europe? They would have had no hope in City Street, but they had to have had some achievement to get in the first place. Do you know what I mean? Thrash the fitness and the basic aptitude test isn't easy, But so you get some absolute maniacs, and then you get the I don't know what it was like when you got in Fijians who can allege. I'm thinking back now. Is this true, or is this just the rumor mill? Where they could sign up for 22 years. They could sign a contract for 22 years. And I knew some of them were pretty unfair. I knew some were superb soldiers with awesome heritage, like a couple of one of them is his uncle. One of them is a good friend. I say good friend at the time. I haven't spoken to him much since. But his uncle is Lava, the Hereford guy. His uncle. You know what I mean? Oh, his uncle, great uncle, one of the two. And then you get the other side, it's like they're good for propping in the rugby team for 10 minutes, maybe and a half, and that's about it. They never get out. They signed up for 22 years. They're sorted.
They are, yeah. They are. They're like,
yeah.
They look like brick shit houses. These people are lovely guys as well, fantastic guys. But I'm sitting there now thinking of some of the characters. But as you say, it gives people a grounding. Because I found that I joined up, and I had a few, obviously, qualifications from school. But the thing, once you find your niche in the army or any of the armed forces, guys get to, go on into business and stuff like that. I'm in touch with old friends now. Some of them got some fantastic jobs, and I think about them when I knew them. And you think, Jesus Christ, how are you trading with China at the moment? Well, my mate's Foxy, this Geordie once again from K Battery.
Well, it's a similar language, is it not? Geordie and Chinese.
But they get into jobs and they've got their own businesses. You might go, well, you remember them as soldiers.
Yeah.
Are you thinking to yourself at 21, 22, you think, Jesus, how did he do that? I wouldn't stick him in charge of a Hornby train set, let alone basically he's trade. Oh, I'm trading with China now. I spoke to him just before Christmas. Oh, I'm trading with China now. Like I got this business going. I'm on that. Okay, what are you doing? Health and safety. Well, I'm trading with China now. All right. How are the missile systems coming on these days? He's not doing that, by the way.
Thing is, everyone's good at something. It's like it's finding it. That's the rarity. Everyone's good at something. It's finding its rarity. And if you got like if you've got a good manager, if you go into a job and you're cack at that job, then I think I'm learning this. I'm beginning to bring this on as like a lesson, a professional lesson myself. You know, it's not about it's someone's cack. It's not about. I think the default thing for companies to do is, oh God, I've got to get rid of that guy or that girl. Well, it should be that job isn't suited to them. Let's find something that is. There may not be. Is there an alternative? When I was in, there was a situation where we were going to go on an operation. It's Afghan, it's first Afghan, so it wasn't an insignificant thing. And I was at the sniper platoon at the time, and we needed bolstering numbers. And the way they did that, because everyone wanted they wanted to keep all experienced guys across the unit. No one wanted to give us like the decent guys to come to snipers. So the way they did it was we got given a load of new recruits. Honestly, mate, they just finished, right?
Are we talking about the 1800s here, or are we talking about the 2000s?
We're talking Afghan 6, right? And they gave us 6 or 8 of them. All of them, bar one, were fresh from training. And other units work with 3 pounds of weight with snipers. Is the platoon selects who they would like, or it's suggested to them who would be good for the platoon. Then those guys go on to a selection, and then it's like platoon chooses if they want them or not. So invariably, it's always the most experienced, most capable paratroopers go on to it. I suspect it was the same with other units. So you got given these 7, no, 8. I think it was 7 or 8. Anyway, all of them were fresh from depot. One of them was TA, who said he wasn't willing to go on the tour unless he went to snipers. He's who are you to do that? You know, just get your ass in. You know. Anyway, those guys, all of them, they obviously hadn't done any sniper course, no time in sniping whatsoever. But all of them, they were all good at something. There was a couple of them were brilliant in the LMG and the light machine gun. There was a couple of them brilliant signals. There was a couple of them who would they were just made to be snipers. You know, on that tour, sort of they did a sort of sniper training on the tour, like, you know. And but everyone's good at something. It's finding what it is, and if there's always good at something, you know. But again, for companies, they may not be finding that role for them. But that should be the first option you explore. Change the role, and if you're flipping mental, then get rid of you, as opposed to just get rid of you and get someone else in pursuit. Because it's not fair. And someone, especially if someone's coming to the company, they've already got that experience. They may only have a day more than a new guy coming in. But yeah, what girl? I'm off it. You're going to say something? Well,
I mean, I remember on a HF signals course, and obviously having a stutter. One of the instructors, he wanted me off this. I was on a long-term course, and he wanted me off it because he said having a stutter, I would look bad in front of the unit. And another instructor from the other unit said, "Hang on a minute, you can't do that because there's other people in other units who've got stutters. Just because he's got a stutter, it doesn't mean it's going to make a difference." So anyway, on the HF course in my day, right, we were the last unit to use Morse code.
Oh, flipping heck!
I know.
Did you say 1990s or 1960s?
1990s, mate. We were still using Morse code. I think 1993. I was the last course I was on to go through, and you had to do HF comms, and we had a 320 radio, which was about that.
I know
big.
320, yeah.
We used to have a hand wanking machine to crank up the battery, to power the battery, and I to sing that. Used to power the battery, stir the tea. And it was like, I always remember, we had to do like Morse code. You learned it in groups of 5. So it comes over to the Morse code test, out of the
You
course.
have to learn the whole thing, Morse code, flat out.
Whole thing flat out. And we actually use a coding system in 1993, which was dated back to the Special Operations Executive in World War II, and it still worked. It still worked. We didn't have SATCOM in those days. You put your hand antenna up and all that sort of stuff, and you worked it all out. So I sat the Morse test, and I sat it, and I took it all down, and then I sent it. So I sent it off. And this one instructor didn't like me. He said, "Oi, Stutz.
I'm calling that from now on.
You've just passed. How did you manage that? How did you learn Morse code so fast?" I said, "I learnt it in the Sea Cadets." Because I've been a Sea Cadet. Right. I qualified as a radio operator, or a dip dial, they used to call it. So I learnt Morse code in the Sea Cadets. When I went on this course, we had to do Morse code, because I still remembered it from being a kid. I was like that, tapping away. And one of the blokes said, "Good effort, mate. All right, Woody, good effort. Good to know you haven't got a stutter in your finger."
I heard that when I was in school, I had, as in like primary school, I wanted to do there's a female I wanted to have like a school radio channel. I was only 8. What are you in primary school? Like 7, 8 years old, aren't you? And I, at the time, I got told that, yeah, you can be, and we'll buy you like some radio kit, but all DJs have to learn Morse code. I heard this was about the time you were joining the army. I was at school. Learn Morse code. I don't know if that's true or not. I've got no idea. It sounds pretty plausible to me at that time.
It is like music, there. Morse code is music. If you like da 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 da, that was V. And that's how you actually learnt it.
Oh, like remembering the rhythm kind of thing.
Yeah, it was all the rhythm. It was all the beat and stuff like that.
Oh.
It was a nightmare though, because you're in a wood in Germany and it's snowing. And you've got to
you're shivering.
Encode. You've got to encode a message.
Yeah.
So encode it and you send it off and you're there and you're tapping away, stirring at the same time. You're stirring the patrol commander's brew at the same time and you're tapping away. And then it comes in and you've got to decode it and you're like,
must be better than backcode though.
All the maths. Oh yes, all the maths. Then you get your mate to check it.
Yeah.
But that was the old days of the forces. Like I remember on an OPAX course.
I know what?
OPAX, Observation Post Assistance course. How to call in artillery fire.
Right, okay, right.
And on that course, as it's called in the gunners, these days it's like a laser and all that sort of stuff. We used to have a map. A NATO light protector,
prismatic compass,
a compass. Now we upgraded to a silver compass.
Nah, because the prismatic's more accurate.
And we had a piece of string attached to the protector.
Oh yeah.
Because what we used to do,
fable
on the map, you used to work out the gauge altitude and direction all off the map, and you'd be out the GT to target, the guns to target, and the LP to OT, observer to target. We used to stick it on with your piece of string like that going across, and then you mark it up on your map.
We did the same when you train the sniper course, and I think when you're doing the mortars and all that, you assume that you got no technology, you got nothing, because obviously your time before Saturn and that, we did it all the time. And yeah, and we if there was time, we do it like the manual way first, and then we would confirm it with technology if we had it. But I used to hate it. I refused to buy a sat-nav because as soon as you get not a sat-nav, what the bloody hell, a GPS.
GPS.
Car.
Or a
GPS
Magellan.
And the Magellans, The GPS, it's like I've seen blokes get too reliant on them, and then the map reading skills out the window, and all of a sudden, your GPS dies, and you're fucked because you can't map read anymore. Or you can map your basic sense, but not sort of micro map reading. But So when did you join up? 1990.
November the 5th, 1990.
How long was training back then?
3 months.
For phase 1? For
phase 1, yeah. Phase 1 and phase 2 was 3 months.
Was what?
Phase 1 and phase 2. It was 3 months. Was it 3 months?
Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah.
You complete army training during the artillery with 3 months.
Yeah.
That explains a lot about the artillery.
Well, thanks a lot.
I'm joking.
But then what you have to do is you go away over to the regiment.
Phase 3.
And then you do all your courses at a regiment.
That must have changed now.
See,
Phase 1 and Phase 2 now, isn't it?
So
And then you have a Phase 3 when you join up.
So you do your basic training.
Yeah.
You learned how to march, and you used to get. I don't know if you guys, you turned up. You got given a pair of trainers and coveralls.
Were they Silver Shadows back then?
That's it. Yeah. You marched over to the cookhouse. Had your scram, and you marched back. When you got your uniform, basic then, in the gunners, you used to go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning to be woken up by Bombardier M, and it was a legend because he'd shot down a Pucara in the Falklands War.
Oh, what?
A Pucara aircraft in the Falklands War.
Oh, is that a jet?
Yeah, he shot down a jet in the Falklands War. And
with what?
I think it was either a rape. No, it wasn't a blow pipe because that was shit. It was a rape. I think it was a rape, yeah. But apparently he had his Falklands badge. Oh, he shot down an aircraft in the Falklands War, and he was half Spanish as well. And he used to kick the door open. And stick all the lights on. 5 o'clock in the morning. So you get a bit at 3 o'clock, so you'd have all your block jobs. You'd be cleaning. Because I remember on my 22nd birthday, I had the honour of cleaning out the toilets. And we used to have another full screw. We used to go out on the piss, then used to come in. They used to wake us up and you have to stand by your beds. Then you go back to bed, and we go back. Oh yeah, go back to bed. The troop downstairs had the Bombardier, and I always remember he had a distinctive voice. I go, get outside, Normandy troop. Because what do you do? You'd be halfway through your scran at lunchtime.
Yeah.
Right, we were in Hotel El Kabir troop. Like, get outside, Hotel El Kabir troop. You run outside. But this one for Normandy troop had a distinctive
camp.
No, what camp? Aggressive voice. I always know he used to walk around with his pace stick and everything. So when we went over to Signals troop, I can't remember his name. It was Guy from Solly Hull, and we sat there, and he used to do his voice perfect. So the next batch had come in. So we gone on to Signals troop. So the next batch has come in, and he sat next to me. Hey, Wood, listen to this. So you can guess what's coming. Get outside, Normandy troop. All these recruits started shoving them out, straight outside. And Bombardier was like, they're looking at, the fuck are they? And walked out and went, who told you all to get outside? And then these guys, so they all walked out, little sniggers on our face and everything like that. But you think then to training, you used to have to do guard duty. So you'd come in from a day's work, you'd be on guard duty, you'd have like an hour's sleep, then you'd be back up again. And you used to have to stag on at the playground at Woolwich, underneath the arches. I had a fence about that big all the way around it. Right. Because you weren't issued a rifle, shot past your turret, you just get a pick off. And just get this pick off. To walk round, his pick off just in case anybody. And I remember this once in PT. We do with ballot races outside.
Wheelbarrow races.
Wheelbarrow races on the grass. The parade square was there. There was grass at the back. We did the wheelbarrow races. This lad, he had me by my legs. He was this fat kid. He got chucked out in the end. He went, fuck this shit. And he dropped me. And he ran for the fence. And he had on, a red PT vest like that, blue pair of army shorts, green socks rolled over.
Oh, this is in training?
Yeah. And his silver shadow trainers just dropped me. When I was, he went into the grass and he got up. And his sergeant mate said, Woodall, tackle him now. And pinned him down to the ground. He was like, I wanted to escape. I mean, he was in like his PT gear. Going through Woolwich. How was he going to get through Woolwich with basically just his PT? He's not the best gear to do an escape and evasion exercise in. And there's a place called the Dell. And so if you're an ex-gunner, you probably know this place. The Dell was like this. So like this assault course going all the way around it, and you used to have to assemble a cannon at the end. So you had a log, some wood, and these two big tractor tires. Well, you used to have to go through.
Oh, that was the cannon.
That was the cannon, and you used to have to take it around this assault course, and there was a stream, and the stream had rats in it.
Oh man!
And he used to have these coveralls on, climb over it, and he used to have to run around, then assemble a cannon. And this one day, the tractor tyre landed on this lad's ankle and broke it. And his big eye was like that. Get up, get up. Stop being weak and pathetic. Next thing you know, he's up he's in the men's centre, then he's in hospital because he got he's just like had his ankle fractured because a tractor tyre just dropped on top of it.
When I was in school, I dislocated my knee in a rugby match. In the opener, they kicked off, and I caught the. Did I catch the ball? I don't know if I caught the ball. Anyway, flipping kid running the other way, fell or whatever. Anyway, fell across my leg. I was side on, popped my knee, and the coach did that to me. Get out, Kia, run it off. One of those painful injuries to get out, run it off. Jesus Christ, I did that this way. Right, 3 months training, and then off to and then off to where was the unit based then?
In Germany.
Where were they based then?
In Germany. I was in Dortmund. Went off to Dortmund in Germany.
I think a mate of mine was in at that time, and he's based in Germany. He was artillery.
Whereabouts?
But I think he was signals. He was signals in artillery. I'm sure he was. I don't know.
They were sometimes got signals attached, but we were all like self-contained.
He was he was involved. Are you aware of a 4-tonner crash where a lot of people got killed? Soldiers.
No.
That was in Germany. 4-tonner loses brakes going down a hill. There was like 27. It was crammed in the back as you always were. Went down, it tipped over, and 3 or 4 of them dead. 5 of them dead, I think it was.
No, I can't remember that.
Do you go to the reunions?
I go to 2.
Martin King, his name is.
Martin King.
No.
I do remember in Germany, we were actually at an old Luftwaffe camp. Because the Luftwaffe Eagle, if you looked behind the sign, and it was the actual Eagle was actually there, and I can't remember the name of the camp, but you came out of it. There was the main road, and the quarters was opposite, and the camp was famous because there was an IRA attack.
Oh.
One of the guys came out. An officer came out.
What was the camp called, sir?
I can't remember the name of the camp.
It wasn't Osnabrück or something?
No. It was in Dortmund, outskirts of Applebeck.
Anyway.
And I can remember one of I think an officer came out, IRA hit team, shot him, drove past our camp. I wasn't there at the actual time, but they drove past the actual camp. And they went and shouted, that was fucking easy.
That's the deal. What was Germany like then? When did the wall come down?
The wall came down in 1990.
Did you go there before? So you would have gone there after that then?
I got to Germany in 1991. It was still on the, all that sort of stuff.
And the Gulf War was going on then as well, wasn't it?
Gulf War had started. I missed out on that. The Gulf War had started. Got to Germany. It was good. I enjoyed it. I was in Germany from 1991 to 1993. We were MLRS.
Oh, okay.
It was.
Let me try and remember this. Multi-launch rocket system.
That's the one, yeah. Multi-launch rocket system.
I know it went the GMLRS, didn't it?
Wow.
Yeah, bloody thing. GMLRS was guided multi-launch rocket system, which was not very guided. Yeah, it just. I think I remember a few times we used it. We used it quite a few times in 08 in Afghan. And I remember some instances where it didn't land where it was supposed to land. Anyway.
Yes, it wasn't.
But we was the role then in Germany in 91, 92, 93, was it to... Were you just there as a presence? Or were you like doing anything active in terms of... I don't know. What you tell me? I don't know.
Well, it was just at the end of the Cold War.
Mhm.
So obviously the Cold War started as soon as the Berlin Wall sprung up, and that divided East Germany and West Germany. And the Soviet Union was still in the late 80s a heavy presence there, because they had divisions which could just wipe through the whole of NATO. We wouldn't have stood a chance. They had so many tanks.
But they were fully immersed in, or heavily immersed in Afghan then as well, though, weren't they?
They got out of Afghan. They went
88.
they went into Afghan in 1979.
Yeah.
In a coup d'etat.
Yeah.
And they pulled out of Afghan with something like I can't remember the amount of 1989. They pulled out of Afghan. They were there for 10 years. They pulled out because it was a drain on the actual resources of the actual country, and that's why the Soviet Union, that was part of its reason it collapsed. But we were still there as a presence, and a lot of people think, oh yeah, in Germany.
Germany,
yeah, because it was still up on the borders. And I remember going up to the border, and there's still all the checkpoints up there, all the towers, and they used to have a mining system out there that was second.
But the Russians were still there in the borders. You saying
they pulled back then, but back in '89, they were still there.
Oh, yeah.
They were still there, the guard towers and everything like that. And there was a system of towers, minefields, anti-tank ditches, and everything. Russians and the East Germans, yeah.
Hang on. So before, when did they go there then?
They must have left about 1989, 1990.
No, when did they go there?
Go there?
Yeah.
They went there in the 50s.
My gap in knowledge for this area is hideous. Give me a come on. So end of the Second World War.
End of the Second World War, 1945.
Yeah, go on. I know that one.
Okay, both of we got you on that one. So the Berlin. So obviously Berlin was then divided between into sectors.
Yeah.
The Russians, the French, and the Americans, and us. Then all of a sudden, I think, if memory serves me correctly, was 1960. All of a sudden, across East Berlin, this wall, they started to build a wall because you had the GDR and the DDR. So these Germans and the like West Germans, the whole of Germany was then divided.
Hang on, I thought it was 4 sectors.
No, Berlin was into 4 sectors.
Sorry.
So if you imagine, it's encircled. But there was some like political thing where the French, the Germans, and the British had a sector each. So you had like obviously Checkpoint Charlie. Heard of Checkpoint Charlie?
So Berlin was split into 4 sectors, and there was a wall went up between East Germany and West Germany.
That's it. Yeah.
At what point in Berlin did it go through? Did it cross through Berlin?
It crossed straight through the centre of
Berlin
Berlin.
Wall. What am I talking about?
It crossed through from the Brandenburg Gate. If you go there now, you've got the Brandenburg Gate, and there's a wall that goes. You can see part of the wall that's still there.
So did it separate the UK and US sectors from the French and the Russian sectors?
Some of it.
It wasn't that straightforward.
No, no, it wasn't.
Right,
Trust me, because as you entered Berlin, you sometimes, if I remember correctly, you sometimes crossed through East Germany to get into Berlin.
Who put the wall up?
The East Germans did, under the Russian control.
So it was sort of enabled by the Russians.
Yeah, because don't forget, all those countries, Poland, Czechoslovakia, all those places, Bulgaria, they come on the Soviet Union.
Right. And so West Germany, which was connected with France, which was, what else is connected with? Well, Holland.
Yeah, and all those places.
That was
Norway and everything like that.
I see.
So it was all part of the NATO. That was all NATO.
I see. So that was the Russians trying to establish their control and making East Germany, half of Germany, their territory.
Yeah. But now, a thing that happened, there was a thing called Bricksmiths and Socksmiths. And Bricksmiths was basically the British. We could monitor their equipment, and they could have a look at our equipment.
Mm-hmm.
So parties are going in uniform to have a look at the Russian equipment and exercises. Some of the guys used to get actually beat up.
I don't understand that bit.
It was like a treaty thing. It was
There's no way you were sharing all the comms tech though.
Oh no. What it was vehicles. So they'd go in and have a look at the vehicles, and they'd have a diplomatic plater.
Yeah.
But then the Soviets could come in and have a look at us to make sure there's no build up of forces and stuff like that.
I see. What was Bricksmiths?
Bricksmiths was the British military something that was allowed into East Germany.
That was a unit.
It was a unit.
Yeah.
It was like a gathering unit, but it was known about, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So, and the Russians did exactly the same.
Got you.
It was basically open light reconnaissance.
That was happening when you were there.
Yeah, and there were also as well. They used to a lot of the technology off the actual tanks and stuff like that, and aircraft and the vehicles. That actually, all of these guys would get. There's been like things of climbing on board a train that's got a tank on board, and they go underneath the tarpaulin, risking it, scrape off a bit of paint to take it back, so all the boffins can have a look at it. It's a good book called Ops Bricksmiths, and it's really good, and it tells you all the.
It's called what? Ops Bricksmiths?
No, it's got and it basically tells you about all the operations that happened over there. It's quite. It goes into some. Well, I didn't know. You don't think that was happening at that obviously time.
I read a good Russian book called before we went to Afghan. Was, The Bear When It Was a Mountain. Have you heard of that one?
No, I haven't. No.
It's a collection of the command, the Russian. So it's when the Russians were operating out there with the against the Mujahideen and all the rest of it. And it's a collection of reports made by different commanders at varying levels in Afghan. Russian commanders, reports back to their seniors, just sort of reports on that. Tactical reports. This is difficult to face, and situation reports basically, and like what you call it, after action reviews and stuff like that. And the book is a bunch of these reports in it. It's flipping brilliant. It's because it's written there, and it's a brilliant read if you're going out there to operate, with the military. Really good read. That's a good one. It's a good one. There's some good films come out recently about the old Cold War stuff. What was that one that?
British Spies. Have you seen that one?
Who's in that one?
Tom Hanks.
No, I've not.
British Spies.
I was thinking the one with the guy who's dead now. Philip Seymour Hoffman. Philip Seymour Hoffman is one of the last. I think it's the last film he did. Where he played. He's in Germany. He's managing spies. I think I can't remember. British Spies. That's recent. What's it about?
It's based on a true story, and it's really good. And what it's about is there's a guy called Abel who gets caught in New York.
Yeah.
And he's a GRU officer, a Russian sleeper agent, a lieutenant colonel.
GRU is a Russian intelligence unit.
Yeah, overseas intelligence.
Oh, like an RMI6.
Yeah, that's it. So he's caught, and he goes in, and he goes over to court. Tom Hanks is. I think he plays the actual lawyer who defends him, and he's quite interesting. As that's going on, I don't know if you've heard of a guy called Francis Gary Powers.
No.
Right. Okay. So Francis Gary Powers was a U-2 spy plane pilot, because in those days the U-2 came under the CIA. It didn't come under the American Air Force.
U-2 is just reconnaissance, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So what happened was it flew out of Pakistan on a mission, out of Pakistan, over Russia. And the job was to take a photo of a missile base. Fly off, land, I think, in Norway, job done. Now, the U-2 has a classified ceiling height. So he goes up and takes off, and the U-2 didn't have a comm system because it was going over Russia. It was it just had a clicker, and that was it. So he'd take off, no comms, only cameras, off it flew.
Oh, it's a clicker. You mean trigger for the camera?
Yeah.
Right. Sorry. Yeah.
That's all he had.
Yeah.
But as it went over at a high altitude, which obviously all classified, a missile, surface to air missile, it actually detected it. The missile goes up, hits it, tears off his wing. So they had a self-life destruct button. He couldn't hit the button, so he parachuted out. And he got caught and he got captured. So he got thrown into prison for about 5 years, I think.
When was this then? Like mid 70s?
No, this is 1963.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
But one of the things that happened was they decided to do a swap at the, let's get this right, the Gill Kicker Bridge. A spy swap.
Where's that? Where's that bridge?
That's in Berlin.
Oh, okay.
They didn't want to,
I
didn't want to do it at checkpoint, obviously Charlie, because it'd be too well known and everything like that. So what they did, this obviously bridge. So what they did is a swap over. They exchanged Able for this pilot. Gary Powers only a couple of years ago got the American version of the Distinguished Flying Cross because he was seen as being a traitor because he never destroyed the aircraft or anything like that. And I think he died in a helicopter crash in 1977 because the U-2 landed and actually crashed intact.
Oh no!
Which is a really good. It's a good film.
That sounds like a good film. I have to watch that.
Yeah,
yeah, it was on my watch list. That was. During 1993. Now, what did you do after that?
93. We left Germany, went to good old Catterick in Yorkshire.
The land of Nod.
The land of Nod. We were at the old RAF Catterick. We were at the old camp. The old RAF camp. We were out only there. I remember this once being on guard duty, and this truck driver come in, and he'd seen the sign 5th Regiment Royal Artillery. I always remember that. It's like I've been in the regiment for 2 years now. It's either 93 or no, it was 94 before I went out to Northern Ireland. And this truck driver said, "Oh, bloody hell, 5th Regiment. I used to be in 5th Regiment." I said, "Oh, yes." Is it still the penal regiment? So, like the Germans in World War II used to have all the bad boys, and the penal battalions used to get killed. I said, "So why did you say that?" He said, "Oh, 5th Regiment. So that used to be the penal regiment in Germany." And I always wondered, these were some characters walking around who are X7 Para, X29 Commando. And you think, why they suddenly come to like a normal unit? If they didn't end up in like special MPs, they ended up in normal batteries. These guys from 5th Regiment, from obviously 29, but they ended up, it's where all the bad boys went.
Yeah. You didn't realise until he said that.
You might have said that. What have you done wrong? So we went to Catterick and we deployed on my first ever tour to Northern Ireland. That was in September or October 1994 to South Armagh. We operated out at a place called Keeding, right out in deep in what you call bandit country. 6 months of walking around all the fields, been to like Middletown and that, and
loving the fences, barbed wire fences. With all that ECM in your back.
Oh yeah.
What was it then? Was it Walrus and that then?
Yeah, Walrus and everything like, and Shifter and something like that. Shifter, and because I was the young one, I had the big antler on the back and everything like that.
And the Walrus was the. For people listening, civies listening, ECM is electronic countermeasures, and each bit of equipment you commonly carried in. Ireland was where it's sort of developed for us, wasn't it?
Yeah,
yeah, and it was so it would do, different things did different things, different equipment did different things, but in essence, it was to prevent like bombs going off, like sort of remote controlled bombs and some wire controlled bombs. Anyway, it was preventative sometimes. But it was all massive, heavy stuff, wasn't it? The Walrus was that bit where you wore a little thing in your back. You had a wire going down your leg, didn't you? And you had this flipping contraption strapped to your leg, and it could detect up to 30 centimeters into the soil
Oh, I didn't have that.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't have that.
Oh, that was, yeah, we had that.
You know what we used to use?
What was the one you got?
5 and 20 metre checks.
Oh, yeah, that as well. Yeah, 5 and 20. Yeah, 5 and 20.
You have a quick check behind
They
the
never
wall.
went away. He was never in Afghan. They never went away. 5 and 20s. And then when I did the Walrus, you had the antler, that massive thing in your back. It changed though. It changed in. I'm not going to speak about it actually because I don't know what's there right now. But it changed the newer stuff when I think that was when like halfway through Iraq, you know, when that campaign was going on, sort of over 5 or 6. I think it changed to lighter stuff, but by density. Yeah, but they made it bigger, so it was still as heavy. It was, you know, it would have been just
walking around those country things. We used to have this dog at Keady called Tripod.
Right, I did every single place that they have a dog. I'm sure every place, right? Every dog got
Tripod. His name was. He was.
I heard this before. God,
he was a Jack Russell. It was a little Jack Russell called Tripod. He used to walk at the camp gate and he'd come with it. He lived in the camp. He'd come like with it. Out he'd come, hopping around the fields. Chop would pick it up. It was the Wessex as well.
What, their helicopter? Yeah.
The Wessex helicopter would come in. A big old beast had come in and stuff like that. That was a highlight. We used to do Eagle VCPs and everything like that. And, you know, took the cars and all this. You know, nothing's going to happen. That was like.
There's still some stuff going on at night, isn't there?
It started to quieten down then because there was a peace process. You notice I did the bunny's ear then, peace process and stuff like that. But I got back from there and I got back in the April and they asked me if I fancied to go on an attachment to 2-9 Commando. And I said, yeah, all right, out to Cyprus. So you think, oh my God, it's Cyprus. So I was part of Sector Reserve with 2-9 Commando at Ledger Palace. So I walked around South Armagh, apart from tearing a few obviously trousers and having a few people give the old like bunny's ears and that. Nothing happened. Got to Cyprus. Oh my God. It just kicked, as soon as 2-9 got out there, it just kicked off. It's like,
what do you mean?
Basically, we had the.
Was there no suntan lotion left or something?
No, that was it. No.
Getting angry.
What happened was, it was the. I can think of a few incidents when the Greeks kicked off against the Turks because the Greek soldier, who was SF, apparently, when, if I remember it correctly, because a few years ago, he went up to this Turkish guy. He said, "Have you got a lot for the cigarette at the border?" And basically, this guy grabbed onto his wrist and pulled him over. So the Turks said, "Oh, there's a Greek special forces guy been found over it." So all the Greeks went and kicked off and stuff like that. So we were all stood there. I was on a snatch guard. This guy called Garth, and he was like
snatch. What, in Cyprus?
Yeah, the three of us. A guy called Scott, big Garth. He was like 6'4", built like a brick shithouse, but was so soft spoken. And me, and the RSM was a guy called Scooby. They nicknamed him Scooby.
Why is that?
He was a black guy, and he's right, not the RSM, the RSM. Because I used to go out and have a run every night, and he'd come back. This one event, Woodall, and I looked up, said, "No, it's not God. It's his second in command. You're throwing it slow on your run tonight." "Thank you, sir." And I always remember it kicked off, and all the Greeks were trying to get through. When they broke through the line, they got to the Turks in his place, and the Turks started throwing bricks at them and stuff like that. And it was a couple of funny things I remember. We had this in Turkish Independence Day, because what happened was the Turks had been persecuted by the Greeks. The Greeks were persecuting the Turks. Tit for tat, normal. So I think in 1974, the Turks dropped in their airborne and cut the country in half completely.
Turkish airborne.
And
that must be a sight to behold.
It was, walking around holding hands. So it's like Nicosia Airport is still there, deserted, and out the back there was a 737 abandoned and an old Shackleton aircraft, if I remember correctly, up there. So Well, it's all kicked off. So down in our little sect, we had this observation post, and the guys had to hide under this corrugated tin because the Greeks were bricking them, and the Turks were as well. So they needed a battery.
For the radio.
Yeah, and the RSM come up to me. He said, "Woodall, you're off running. Get your flak jacket on, your helmet, son." I put this mate out, big blue helmet on, UN on the front, and my flak jacket. Run down, dodging petrol bombs and everything, getting bricks. This little like Chuck shouted, "Run, Forest, run, Forest!" And I was on this corrugated tin, getting bricked with these two abandoned puppies.
Oh my god!
I said, "I've got to go back now."
Right, UN peacekeeping mission, was it?
Sorry,
UN peacekeeping. Yeah. I'm remembering this on the news. I was young, wasn't I?
Yeah,
I remember it now. Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. That was like, it was supposed to be Cyprus and stuff like that, and it was like,
yeah, it's the thing. Like when you say about the Turks, that's the thing with the Middle East. Well, Turks, they're sort of European as well, sort of, aren't they?
Yeah.
You do not want to be pissing a large crowd of people off because they will turn in a flash, like the West can't do. There's only so far. The youth. Like London youth massive can go by, sticking a hood over them, a bandana across their face and cutting about with, a couple of petrol bombs maybe. Fucking hell. The Middle East, there you go. You are screwed because they'll be all around you. I don't know if you've been in that situation, they'll be all around you, nice as pie, and then you just tell something's going awry here, something's going to go Pete Tong. And you may not have done anything, but something's stirring up. When they go nuclear, you are lots of people go missing.
I was at the back gate this once, near to the Turkish border. I was at the back gate. The Padre had been the 5th Regiment Padre. He was stood next to me. And I was shaking this gate. And I could see this padlock. And the Padre looked at me. I said, "Padre, I'm not too happy with this padlock, He said, "Don't worry, buddy. The hand of God will save us." So chain broke. The gates just went for a brief couple of seconds. The gates were like partially open. I looked at the Padre. I said, "Leg it, Padre." Me and the Padre running along. I thought he said the hand of God was going to save us, Padre. He said, "I think he's busy at the moment, would he?" And then on a Thursday, I was always on RSM's detail. No, it was on a. It's on a Friday because I used to have a Wednesday and Thursday off. And on a Friday morning, you used to be on RSM's fatigues. Every morning there was RSM fatigues. So on a Friday, we used to have to report out to the hotel desk because it was in an old hotel. I used to report down there. And up it comes Scooby. "Woodall, do you know how I know it's a Friday? Because it's on your calendar, sir." "No, because I'm going to beast your ass. Come on, Woodall." And my job for the RSM every Friday was to do his garden outside HQ.
Gardening or garden?
Oh no, his garden.
Oh, do his garden.
Yeah, he had his garden outside HQ. So I just have to get the all the weeds up and everything. He didn't get to his window like that. "Woodall, yes sir. You're doing a good job on that garden, boy."
I'd say, must have been a good effort back then for a black guy to get that far up the rank. I was just thinking then, because even when I joined up, he didn't see many like senior, black guys or women. He just wasn't the case. I remember some in the. I mean, look, you think about how I'm remembering it. If they stand out. How rare it was.
He was in the Falklands, all this guy was. He was in the Falklands. I stood on the gate this once, and he come up. I stood as 2 attendants. "Relax, Woodall boy. Have you got a kettle in there?" "Yes, sir." "Do you fancy a cup of tea?" "Go on then." And he stood there on the gate with his pace stick like that. And all the guys are coming in. Right, sir. All the, a senior non-commissioned officer said. And I stood there. I was like, "Woodall, you know something? When I first joined this regiment, they used to call me," and he said all these names, he said, "but now I'm at DRSM, I got them shaking in the boots, boy."
Brilliant.
I stood there like that thinking, yes sir. Yeah. I mean, he was it was a classic. And there was a picture of myself and a mate, Hoppy, another Hoppy. This was over the mate, looking campus Christmas, and we were weeding the helicopter landing pad. And there's a picture of like in shorts on, nutcracker shorts as you called him in the 80s, sandals,
like khaki.
No, just like really short shorts, vests on, and I had an American Rangers camouflage hat on with a couple of shovels, looking camp as anything. And we got into some Facebook. He's now a battery captain in the Royal Artillery. I want to find this photo out and say, do you remember this, mate? You've gone far from weeding the helicopter. But as you say there, for an RSM who was a black guy, was basically, he did. There's another one called Derek, and he was a BSM, and he started off as a commando chef, and he became my RSM at 4-7, and he was a Scouser. And he said, I know you, Woodall. You were in Cyprus. How are you? Are you well? And that's how he used to speak. Good to see you. We'll have a brew and a chat about the good old days. And the other RSMs like that looked at me like,
it's fucking crazy how backwards he used to be. You think about, I haven't said that. I think, well, I say we, I suppose we're in the UK. To that kind of discrimination that went on for fucking years. It makes you wonder where it all fucking came from, like thousands of years ago. I don't know. I don't think I'm skeptical as anything to stamp it all out. I don't know, because I think inherently there is discrimination. It's bred into you. I'm not talking about racial discrimination. I'm talking you discriminate all the time. Like I'll see you and I'll see someone else and you'll be dressed differently and I will make judgment. Subconsciously, I'll make judgment. Because if you're dressed like you are now, normal, and he's dressed in a flipping, I don't know, a pink unicorn outfit, there's certain judgments I'm going to make about him that I won't make about you. Discriminate, it's that. Just your growing up experiences. But, it's, and you have that discrimination everywhere, but then it's just managing it, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it's the ignorance of, judging people on where they're from, what their religion is, what this colour of their skin is.
Well, they're meant to stick out you. They're meant to stick out you, Snav. Where are you from? Woodall, are you flat?
Oh, the accent. Yeah, discriminating because
Artillery.
Accent. Yeah.
Well, no, where are you from? Dudley. Do you know that you sound like Jasper Carrot? Yes, sir, I've been told that many times. Don't get cocky, Woodall. Yeah, I know sound like Jasper. Okay, well, I think that actually few of them actually called me Jasper at one stage. Jasper, over here.
You're not dissimilar to looking like him, mind? You've been told that as well, haven't you?
It's just off the.
I wouldn't say you even mentioned it. I didn't. I didn't want to discriminate.
I'm not receding. I've got very low eyebrows, Hugh.
I have this in my forehead, right? I have halfway down my forehead. I have this hair, a single hair goes out. It pissed me off for a few years now. And it dawned, I think, why did the hair go in there? It dawned on me, that's where my hairline was. My hairline was there when I was younger. And there's one hair stayed there. It depresses me now. I almost want to leave it growing out for the more sprout out around it. But it's not going to happen.
It just makes me laugh. So I'm nearly 50. You take your shirt off, you're like, what's that? I've got a growth of hair going on the back. Got Sherwood Forest growing on the back, thinking it would grow on the front instead. And, but how can your hair's receding? Because my father was Klingon, and that's why that's why he got the temper. Yes, that's it. He thinks, oh Jesus, why is it going?
How did you go from the military to starting up your own company? How did you get there?
I left in 2005.
Oh, not long ago then.
No,
really?
No, I left in 2005, and I qualified as a medic there, and also I found another niche that I went on a medic. I said, "Hey, do you fancy going on a medics course?" Yeah, okay then. Yeah, I'll go on the medics course. But the instructors, you see how an instructor puts it over. You can say, right, well, okay. Some people you know yourself, you got instructors, whether military or civilian, you sit there like that going, like a goldfish, like that.
Yeah.
Please.
Looking sat inanimate with your mouth open. PowerPoint, like a PowerPoint presentation.
Or like, that's your question. Yes. Sorry. Right. What was the question again, Becky? But other instructors, I'm like going, but wow, that's interesting. How does that work? How does the brain produce these electronic signals and all this? So I've really got into that side of it. So I went on that medics course, and I did another one and another one. I was like, well, this is really enjoyed it, loved it to bits. So then after I got out, I felt I needed to find a niche. And I was having a chat with a mate. He said, well, I qualified as a first aid instructor. So I thought, set up my own business. And it's...
was anyone else doing it at the time that got out that you knew that sort of gave that idea, or was it just off your own back?
Off the cuff. Off the cuff. So I got selected to be a first aid instructor for the Royal Navy. So I did that for 4 years. But
hang on.
I'm hanging on.
Royal Navy, Royal Artillery. Hang on. How did that happen? I don't understand.
A mate of mine come up to me and said, the Royal Navy, because I lived in Portsmouth at the time.
You're out now?
Yeah, I'm out now.
You were out at this point?
Yeah, I was out now. So this is now 2008. He said, they're looking for a first aid instructor.
The Royal Navy?
Yeah.
What?
HMS Excellent. A civilian first aid instructor. The civilian contractor as a first aid instructor. So I put in my CV, got interviewed, and I got the job teaching the Royal Navy first aid, which was great because I did all the sea survival course and everything.
Who were you teaching then?
Matlows and
so people on
bootnecks.
Ships?
Yeah, all the bootnecks, the Navy and RFA.
What, the Marines?
Yeah, I was teaching
first aid.
Yeah,
surely they do team medic courses and that. Like,
they still have to know basic first aid.
Yeah, we did that. It's our team medic course. Hang on. It'd be battlefield first aid.
But they still put them through a ship's 4-day first aid course, and they're not all OPTAG as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I was obviously it was a great experience. So all the all my first aid courses were then based on the Royal Navy's course. I thought this is good, but I wasn't business focused. I wasn't. If you get me, I wasn't. I need to get this. I need to get that. So finished that 2012. Then I got offered a job in Dubai in 2013 and stopped there till 2015. Came back and thought I'll start up again. But this time I was more. They always say that you go through business the second time around, you've learned all your mistakes the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So now you start to, I need to do this, I need to do that. So started a Twitter, more stuff on obviously LinkedIn. So all the courses started coming in, and I love it to bits because I got more obviously qualified, so I could offer companies more deep range of courses. And working for the Navy, that's where I met Seb Coulthard, who was a fleet air arm guy, who was a WAFU, and he heard I was a remote areas medic. So he was involved with the Shackleton Epic Expedition, and that was basically, they went in January 2013, and they sold a replica of the James Caird lifeboat.
Explain that.
Okay, so Ernest Shackleton went down to the Antarctic to cross over to the South Pole, and his ship got crushed. So to escape, they left a few guys on. Let's get this right.
Got crushed by what? Icebergs or something?
Yeah. Oh. The ice just crushed it completely.
Oh, okay.
They set sail.
It was parked up.
Well, it was moored up. So they set sail from one island. I can't remember which.
South Georgia.
No, they actually had to sail to South Georgia. So they went from one pinprick to sail to South Georgia. 6 guys did.
Oh, what was the island where the Hereford guy didn't drown in the Falklands?
That was obviously Pebble Island.
Pebble Island.
That's where they had to sail to. So these guys replicating that. So this guy, Erdog's a remote esmec, he's telling about this Shackleton epic expedition, and it'd been organised by a guy called Tim Jarvis, Australia medal, who'd walked solo to the South Pole. So I did all their medical training and supplied a trauma kit for the sea trials in the United Kingdom. Yeah, it was great. Got to meet the great granddaughter of Ernest Shackleton, this lovely lady called Alexander Shackleton, who was rather
British.
Rather British. You're the medic, aren't you? Hello, how are you? Are you well?
How old was
thank
she?
you. She must be in her 80s now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
when did Shackleton do that then?
Shackleton did that. Oh my God! I'm going to get this right now. 1914. 1914, because it must be 1914, because I think World War One had just started. But when Seb came back in the May, I was still living in Portsmouth, and then we got to May 2013, and he said, "Well, I fancy doing something different," and I said, "Well, how about the actual desert?" So the first plan was, because my great uncle Dennis was a wartime SAS man, we were going to go out to Libya, and we had this idea first of all, again, a Chevalier truck and driving through all the LRDG sites and that. But due to what's happening in Libya, we didn't think that would be a very good idea. So all of a sudden, I said, "Well, what about doing something about like Lawrence of Arabia?" And this was a few beers in the pub, May 2013. So I got back May 2015 from Dubai, and he said, "That idea about doing a desert expedition for Lawrence of Arabia." I went, "Yeah, let's have another think about it." So the planning stages were to actually crop. So Lawrence of Arabia, he was sort of the forerunner of the Special Forces in World War II, but this is in World War One. One of the attacks he did, he crossed the Nafud Desert to Wadi Rum in Jordan. Then him and the Arab army attacked Aqaba because it was a port and all the guns faced outwards. The British needed that to then go in and obviously take Arabia by a logistics thing. So he had all this. So he was going to actually do that, but it was 6 weeks. It would have taken 6 weeks, 2 months. Last year, 2016, last year, we started planning, scale it down. We were supposed to have this film crew. So we had this film crew with us. "Oh yeah, this is a fantastic idea, and the Discovery Channel and all this, and we'll do this." And this guy came in from Holland and he chatted to us. Was, "Oh, this is great. So we planned it and everything." And he pulled out. And Seb said, "Fuck it, we're still doing it." So we scaled it down and we planned this expedition. It cost us £1,500 each. We flew from London to Turkey, Istanbul, then flew into Amman in Jordan, stopped in Amman in Jordan, and then we got to Wadi Rum. This guy called Ahmed from Rum Stars met us. So normally on an expedition like this, you'd have obviously a backup crew, support crew, vehicle just in case, medical evacuation, SATFO. We wanted to experience what Lawrence experienced.
So no kit.
We had traditional Arabic gear. We had 4 camels, myself, Seb, Auda, our guide, and that was it. We went from Wadi Rum all the way by camel to the outskirts of Aqaba, because you can't take camels in to Aqaba. We then went from Aqaba and we arrived in Aqaba on July 16th, 2017, 100 years to the day, Lawrence did. And it was such a fantastic experience. We actually spent the night outside his house at Wadi Rum.
Lawrence's house?
Yeah, he had a house built there at Wadi Rum. It's obviously deserted now and that. And so we had like 5 days on camels.
Awesome.
And they said, the guy said, do you want to sleep in bags? We went, no, we don't sleep in bags. So we slept on the floor, all blankets, had a headdresses on.
I've seen the photo of you.
And we didn't do it as like we're going to pretend. We wanted to experience what he did. And I wrote a journal each day about what he would feel out there, because it was him, and he spoke Arabic fluently. You had the temperature, you had camel sores, you had heat exhaustion, all the things that he experienced. And he's obviously planning this big major attack. We got to Aqaba, and we was expecting it was 100 years to the day that Lawrence and the Arab army entered Aqaba. We was expecting a parade and everything. The Jordanian tourist board had said, there's going to be a parade. So myself and Seb Coulthard in our Pilgrim Bandits polo shirts, because we raised money for them. We got there, the flag outside of the castle they took over. Nothing.
Really?
There was me and him. And the head of the tourist board, Fragabar, the minister, took us in. It was rather, can we give you Turkish coffee? Well, I thought, we've come all this way, and we get them served Turkish coffee.
It's horrible anyway.
Oh,
God,
stunk.
horrible.
So we had a walk around the fort, and I popped over to a shop, and I bought 2 bottles of Coke. I said to Seb, there we go. So we stood outside the fort, toasting Lawrence of Arabia with bottles of Coca-Cola. But it was a fantastic experience.
Have you read the 7 Pillars of Wisdom?
I have. You have to read it about 3 or 4 times, because it's really...
It's layered, isn't it?
It's layered, and you have to...
Not intentionally, though. It's brilliant. I didn't know he was Welsh.
We've actually been over to his house. We've been to the house he was born at.
Where is it?
Oh, no, I need to get this pronounced right now.
Say it phonetically, amuse me.
Tremadog. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Tremadog.
Tremadog. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Tremadog.
Welsh and gay.
There's nothing to confirm that.
Read between the lines in the
sorry, Lawrence. Sorry, you're on about Lawrence. Sorry.
If you read between the lines in the 7 Pillars of Wisdom, there's an 8th pillar.
It's just when you said, Welsh and gay, I thought to myself,
the host of HR,
places.
Negative.
On that one goes right. And you go over to his house there, and it's now a youth hostel and everything like that. The side of it's a youth hostel, and there's like a
plaque currently.
Yeah, there's a big the blue plaques there.
Killed in a motorcycle accident, didn't he?
Yes,
in the 60s.
You're close. I have to say this like I do on first aid courses. If I ask a question, it was basically 1935.
Was it that?
1935. 18th. He died the 18th. He hit 16th of May 1935. Died 18th of May. On his motorcycle outside Clouds Hill Cottage in Dorset by Bovington Camp. Yeah.
You know that? Yeah, I didn't know. That's amazing. I'm not on the trip. That's really awesome, mate. You're gonna write this out. We've got like an hour and a half. We're on. Like,
time flying now.
Like an hour and a half. I'm just looking at the time. Yeah. Right. Tell me the name of your company.
My company name is Medic Services International, and we're a vibrant Worcestershire-based business.
Vibrant, but you can serve anywhere in the UK, can you? Or not?
I've worked all over the UK. I've also worked overseas as well.
What services do you do altogether?
We do health and safety, fire safety. Mostly it's first aid, anything from basic first aid, 3-day first aid work calls, catastrophic bleed management. And we've run courses in Qatar. We've run courses in Basra, Iraq. Basra, Iraq.
Who were you training
last November?
Was it Civi?
Oil field, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oil field,
yeah. What Ramallah you're at?
In Basra, I can't remember the name of the place. I can't pronounce it.
Doesn't matter.
Right on the river. It was 10 clicks from the Kuwaiti border.
Oh, down south then.
Yeah,
Samara, maybe.
Yeah, way down south. It
Yeah,
was,
yeah. Go on.
And we do a lot for tree surgeons as well. We have a lot of obviously tree surgeons come and to us for courses, which is really good. Yeah.
Is that predominantly through because you're going to make your ones?
I met Gristwoods when they were chopping up the tree outside the house in Portsmouth, and I offered them a cup of tea, and they said, having a chat, what's your line of work? The every manager just happened to be there. So I said, here's my line of work. So I handed over my obviously business card. And that was in June 2013. So we've now got a fantastic working relationship.
Face to name, personal touch always gets you in there.
Referrals, all the work we get are referrals. It's not from like advertising. We're on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. We have a Facebook page as well. But the work we get is from referrals.
What's the website?
www.medicservicesinternational.com.
Anything else you want to plug?
Sorry?
Anything else you want to plug? You mentioned Pilgrim Bandits.
Pilgrim Bandits, yeah.
I know you're involved with 353 as well.
Fantastic.
Or fundraise for them.
Fantastic.
353, also we had Tony on.
Tony, yes.
Yeah, and you're involved with
Rugby.
fundraise for Rugby for Heroes. We had Mikey on, didn't we?
Oh, yes. Mikey Valance, what a legend.
Yeah. So, those three. Yeah, apart from those, anything else, mate? Been an absolute pleasure having you on.
It's been great to be here.
Been good chatting. Mate, I learned about Germany. There's gaps in my people hate me. It's like some of my mates are like absolute history buffers, and you think, well, why don't you know everything about everything? Because my brain only has so much room. When I learn something, it kicks something else out.
Oh, I'm the same. I have to dump stuff. It does seem like I just explode. That's why I'm so intelligent.
I was thinking you are highly, highly intelligent.
Even though I've got a Dudley accent, I look thick, sound thick, but trust me, I'm not thick.
Absolute pleasure, mate. And nice to meet you again. Sober this time.
I was, yes.
Cheers, Julian.
Thank you very much, mate. Thank you.
Are we going off? That was yes, and it.